Upon hearing that my sister has wed a commendable husband, my first endeavor upon descending the mountain was to behold this brother-in-law. His facial features reveal a robust progeny palace and a flourishing couple palace, indicative of a noble destiny. Truly remarkable. I turned to my sister, feigning reproach. Sister, how is it that you did not inform the family of your burgeoning offspring? Had I not sought you out today, would you have continued to conceal this matter? At my words, my sister lightly tapped my forehead. What nonsense are you uttering, dear sister? If I have not conceived, how could there be children? No children? I glanced at my brother-in-law, whose visage unmistakably suggested he was blessed with progeny. A flicker of discomfort crossed Xiao Shan's face. He cleared his throat and stepped forward to interject. Is it that Enin wishes to be an aunt? Rest assured, brother-in-law shall endeavor doubly hard, so you may have your wish fulfilled at the earliest. He wrapped an arm around my sister's shoulders, his gaze brimming with affection, causing her to blush deeply. The moment Xiao Shan encountered my sister, an invisible aura gradually enveloped the two of them. In an instant, the ethereal essence surrounding Xiao Shan intensified, while my sister's vitality surged with newfound vigor. They complemented each other exquisitely, forming a harmonious union. As far as I am aware, Xiao Shan harbors unwavering devotion to my sister, eschewing concubines and illicit liaisons. Yet, if my sister remains childless, from whence could Xiao Shan's offspring arise? Yet, upon a closer examination of Xiao Shan's features, it became evident that he indeed possesses children. 2. Bai Jiaming appears to be a wealthy merchant from Jiang'an, yet in truth, he is a descendant of celestial masters. Due to the new dynasty's prohibition against supernatural powers and witchcraft, the Bai family has chosen to conceal their true identity and instead embraced a life of commerce. Each generation secretly nurtures a single heir to carry on their sacred mission and ensure the prosperity of the Bai lineage. In this generation, I am the chosen one. At the tender age of 3, my family publicly declared me to be frail and in need of retreating to the mountains for recuperation. In reality, I ascended the mountains to seek guidance and learn the family's craft, inheriting our sacred duty. My master, that old man, rarely permitted me to descend from the mountains. Yet this time, he actively encouraged me to embark on a journey, suggesting that I had a fortuitous opportunity to fulfill my destiny. 3 years prior, my mother wrote to inform me that my elder sister had found a suitable partner. Thus, I set aside all thoughts of duty and destiny, hastening to the Xiao residence. Though I may not be an exceptionally skilled practitioner, I am certainly capable of discerning the basics of the children's palace. I suppressed my inner doubts and smiled at my sister, saying, "Very well, sister, I eagerly await your good news." She affectionately ruffled my hair and replied, "Enin, it is rare for you to descend from the mountains. You must stay at the residence for some time." Agreed. How could I rest easy leaving my sister amidst the affairs of the Xiao family without understanding the situation? 3. My sister took the bundle from my hands and personally led me to the guest quarters. I affectionately linked my arm with hers. "Sister, are you happy at the Xiao residence?" She patted my hand reassuringly. "Do not worry, your brother-in-law treats me exceedingly well." From her words, I gleaned that both Xiao Shan and the entire Xiao household were quite kind to her. No one blamed her for not bearing children in 3 years. Her needs were met with utmost care, and she managed the household affairs. Xiao Shan, aside from managing his shops outside, devoted the rest of his time to being by my sister's side. He was perfect, almost like a statue. But was his affection for my sister genuine? Or did he have ulterior motives? The Xiao family of the capital and the Bai family of Jiang'an, two of the most affluent families in the Great Zhou, often referred to as the Southern and Northern Titans. Whatever the Bai family possessed, the Xiao family had as well. If he were plotting against my sister and the Bai family, what could his intentions be? Before long, a maid entered to announce that dinner was ready. I took my sister's hand and proceeded to the dining hall. For, at the dinner table, Xiao Shan paid considerable attention to my sister. I jested. As a solitary figure here, I must be quite the eyesore. My sister blushed slightly. "Enin, you are nearing the age of marriage. Our parents will surely seek a good match for you." Marriageable age? I glanced at my sister, recalling that I had just turned the age of marriage last month, having received a gift from her to commemorate the occasion. Sensing my inquisitive gaze, Xiao Shan's expression flickered with a moment of tension, which he quickly masked with a fond glance at my sister. "Look at you. having prepared a coming-of-age gift for Ineen last month, and now you've forgotten. My sister, slightly embarrassed, tapped her head. My memory seems to be failing me more and more. Please forgive me, Ineen. I suppressed my suspicions and feigned a pout. Sister, you once had such a remarkable memory. How could you forget when Ineen came of age? My sister hurriedly apologized. I was wrong, Ineen. Xiao Shan adeptly shifted the topic. I wonder what kind of man Ineen prefers? Your brother-in-law will keep an eye out. I smiled, responding half seriously, in our household. There are only my sister and me as daughters. Now that my sister has found her ideal husband and enjoys a blissful life, I must reluctantly seek a suitor to carry on the by-family line. My sister's expression turned momentarily strange, as if the matter did not concern her at all. Yet Xiao Shan's expression stiffened. This reaction was worth investigating. When Xiao Shan caught my gaze, he immediately resumed his cheerful demeanor. Your parents will have their plans. Your brother-in-law need not worry. Do try this osmanthus wine. It is fragrant and sweet, and I am certain you will enjoy it. Very well, brother-in-law. Before long, a maid rushed in and whispered something in Xiao Shan's ear. He promptly stood up, his expression turning anxious. Minggur and Tianjie have had an accident. I must go check on them. Watching Xiao Shan's hurried departure, I furrowed my brow. Sister, who are Minggur and Tianjie? A bold conjecture formed in my mind. Could they be Xiao Shan's children? They are the children of my mother-in-law's distant niece. The distant niece of the old lady of the Xiao family? My heart tightened inexplicably. Was this a scenario reminiscent of the literary trope where cousins were childhood sweethearts? Sister, does this cousin have ulterior motives? My sister shook her head. Initially, she too believed this cousin aimed to divide her from her husband. However, upon learning more, she discovered that the cousin, still young, had become a widow, with neither father nor mother, leaving only the old lady as her kin. Thus, she brought her 2 children to seek refuge. Yet upon arriving at the Xiao residence, she fell ill and remained bedridden. Even if she wished to entice Xiao Shan, she would be powerless. Nevertheless, those 2 children were indeed well cared for. I nodded in understanding. Your brother-in-law seems quite concerned for those children. My sister's brows knitted slightly at my words. It is also my fault. My body has not cooperated. My mother-in-law mentioned that if it proves difficult for me to conceive, we might consider adopting Minggur and Tianjie, just as I suspected. I scrutinized my sister's troubled expression, veiled in a mist, resembling dark clouds obscuring the sun, rendering it difficult to discern. I could not read her fate clearly, which was quite perplexing. Since entering the realm of the mystical, I have encountered numerous tribulations. Every heir of the Bai family has been destined to be devoid of worldly riches. Yet since we ascended the mountains, we have engaged in virtuous deeds, accumulating merit and praying for the Bai family's blessings, channeling the power of merit towards the Bai lineage. Consequently, the direct descendants of the Bai family have enjoyed a life of wealth and stability, passing away peacefully. My sister, known for her kindness and charitable nature, was destined for a life filled with blessings and smooth sailing. Yet now, that fortune appeared as elusive as a mirage, indistinct and illusory. 5. That night, I leaped onto the rooftop, surveying the entire Xiao residence, enveloped in an aura of profound blessings. Such grace could only belong to a family with great fortune or significant merit accumulated over generations. This is indeed a blessed abode. From my observations, the masters and servants of the household are all gentle and compassionate souls. But what of Xiao Shan? Am I perhaps overthinking? Perhaps I should first meet those 2 children. The following day at lunch, as I was a guest, the old lady of the Xiao family hosted a banquet in my honor. The Xiao family is rather small, with only 3 generations, and in this generation, there is only Xiao Shan as the sole heir. Given this arrangement, it would not be unreasonable to refrain from pressuring my sister to bear children. If Minggur and Tianjie are not Xiao Shan's offspring, what harm would there be in adopting them? Yet, I fear this might be a deception. I quietly consumed my meal. Ineen, do you find the cuisine of the capital to your liking? Thank you, madam. The food is quite delectable, and I enjoy it immensely. Good. As long as you like it. My sister gently served me more food. Ineen, have some fish cake, it is your favorite. Upon seeing the fish cake in my bowl, I nearly gagged, covering my mouth. Ugh. As a child, I had a near-fatal experience with a fish bone, and since then, I have had a visceral reaction to anything related to fish. What is wrong, Ineen? My sister inquired anxiously. I cast a helpless glance at her, feeling somewhat wronged. Sister, have you truly forgotten that I vomit at the sight of fish? My sister paused, momentarily bewildered and confused. You vomit? Yet the old lady's expression showed signs of panic. She quickly regained her composure. If Enine does not eat fish, then do not force yourself. We shan't make you uncomfortable. Let the maids take it away. No sooner had she spoken than a man's voice inquired from the doorway. Is there something troubling you, Enine? Xiao Shan inquired as he led two little ones into the banquet hall. The matriarch beamed with delight. Weren't you supposed to be absent due to prior engagements? How could one miss such an important gathering for Enine? He replied. Ming'er and Tianjie insisted on seeing their mother, which caused the delay. The matriarch promptly beckoned the two children over. No matter, come and take a seat. At the dining table, the maids expertly served the dishes, deftly adding several pieces of fish cake to Tianjie's plate. The two little ones resembled exquisite sculptures, clearly cherished young masters and mistresses, precious as gold and jade. The little girl sweetly exclaimed, "The fish cake is so delicious." Not only Tianjie, but Ming'er also favored fish cakes above all other dishes. Watching them joyfully savoring the delicacies, I glanced at the piece of fish cake in my own bowl, and something in my mind began to weave together. The matriarch, perceiving my contemplations, quickly elucidated my sister's earlier actions. Enine, Niao has been very attentive to Ming'er and Tianjie. She might have confused their favorite foods with yours. I snapped back to reality, feigning understanding. Indeed, my sister is always kind and gentle. The children are well behaved. They should eat more fish to be clever. At my words, a glimmer of satisfaction flickered in the matriarch's eyes. Enine, your parents seldom come to the capital. Now that you're here, we have matters to discuss with you, and it would be beneficial for you to relay this back to your in-laws. I set down my chopsticks and quietly listened as the matriarch spoke. Niao has not conceived in 3 years. We wish to take the initiative to adopt Ming'er and Tianjie under her name. It would provide a future support. I had already observed that Ming'er and Tianjie bore no blood relation to Xiao Shan, confirming they were not his children. If my sister remained childless, adoption or Xiao Shan taking a concubine was merely a matter of time. The vast Xiao residence needed heirs to manage it. As for Xiao Shan's own children, I would certainly uncover them. When the time came, whether to stay or leave would be my sister's decision. I smiled warmly. The Bai family respects my sister's choices. Upon hearing this, my sister's eyes sparkled with surprise. I am willing to adopt Ming'er and Tianjie. My sister's reaction? It felt somewhat amiss. Just last night, she had shown a troubled countenance upon mention of this matter, yet today she was ecstatic. The others at the table shared in her joy. Even the usually taciturn old master Xiao wore a broad smile. Yet, I could not share in their mirth. I scrutinized my sister's face, examining it closely. I was certain it was indeed my sister, yet her thoughts seemed intricate and convoluted, and her current demeanor resembled that of a simpleton devoid of spirit. Devoid of spirit? A jolt ran through me. My sister's moments of confusion were akin to one who had lost their soul. Could it be that someone dared to disturb the peace in such a sacred domain? Yet, I instantly dismissed this notion. My sister's essence remained intact. All 3 souls and 7 spirits were present within her. What then could explain this situation? With the arrival of the 2 little ones, the atmosphere lightened considerably. Xiao Shan attended to my sister while also overseeing the children. Observing him, he truly appeared to be a good man. However, my sister's behavior was undeniably peculiar. After the meal concluded, I discreetly produced a silk scarf, intending to use it to wipe my mouth. My peripheral vision caught sight of the guests preparing to depart, and I immediately spoke up. Sister, look at this scarf in my hand. It was a gift from you in the past. The pattern is only half-stitched. As I hastily took it away. This time, you must help me complete the other half. My sister took the scarf from my hand, scrutinizing the embroidery. Is this a peony? A peony? She claimed this was a peony? I clenched my fist, a flicker of indignation igniting within my chest. I fixed my gaze upon the woman before me, whose gentle features and delicate beauty belied her true nature. I questioned her sharply. You are not my sister. Who are you? Why do you impersonate her? My sudden accusation caused her eyes to well with tears, filled with profound sorrow. While the Xiao family members wore expressions of shock, mixed with a hint of concealed panic. The matriarch reacted swiftly, regaining her composure as she approached to soothe me. Ineen, why do you ask such things? This is your sister, the genuine Niao Niao. I glared at the woman, still ensconced in her pitiable demeanor. She is not my sister. I displayed the scarf before everyone, the incomplete design unmistakable. Even if outsiders could not discern it, my sister would surely recognize that it was an unfinished double lotus. Not some trivial peony. This scarf was personally embroidered by my sister. She told me that the intertwined branches symbolize mutual nourishment and achievement, allowing for healthy growth, much like the profound bond between us. Yet this woman claims it is a peony. The woman stammered, her words incoherent. I forgot. She clutched her head in anguish, as if grappling with something. Xiao Shan embraced her tenderly. Emin, you are truly mistaken about your sister. Niao Niao has been experiencing occasional headaches and her memory is not as sharp as it once was. Given the time that has elapsed, she may have inadvertently forgotten. Forgotten? I found it hard to believe. This woman undoubtedly harbored ulterior motives. However, I could not recklessly confront the Xiao family without clarity on the situation. For my sister's safety was at stake. I turned my head away haughtily, feigning anger, though my demeanor was undeniably less fierce than before. The matriarch quickly gestured to the woman, prompting my sister to step forward and take my hand. Emin, I apologize. I have spent too little time with you. And many things are not deeply etched in my memory. It is my fault. It's all due to my unreliable memory. Please forgive me, Emin. This time, stay a little longer, and I promise to remember your preferences clearly. Though my sister and I shared the same mother, our time together had been fleeting. Her explanation was somewhat reasonable. Yet, I still pouted stubbornly, projecting an unwillingness. Seizing the moment, my sister began to employ her emotional appeal. She affectionately held my hand, gently shaking it while speaking softly. Good sister Emin, please forgive me. At that moment, she resembled my sister once more. I relented, In truth, I had closely examined this body, and it was indeed my sister. Yet, I could not fathom why she seemed to have undergone a transformation. My actions were merely a test of the Xiao family's response. That evening, I summoned a paper kite. Go, follow her. A paper kite flew out of the window, gradually making its way to the elegant courtyard where my sister resided. Through the kite, I observed the deep affection shared between Xiao Shan and my sister as they embraced in slumber, appearing entirely normal. Yet, in reality, my sister resembled a marionette, entirely guided by Xiao Shan's will. She washed up when instructed, changed her clothes when commanded, and went to bed at his behest, obedient as a lifeless being. It wasn't until the candlelight of the courtyard extinguished that I discerned no unusual behavior from Xiao Shan. If he was not concealing something profound, he was indeed a master of deception. I recalled the kite and transformed it to mirror my likeness, lying in bed as if asleep. I bit my finger, drawing an invisibility charm in the air. An invisible aura surged into my being. I strolled freely through the Xiao residence, which could aptly be described as a paradise. The environment was serene, and the decor exquisite. The night breeze was cool, refreshing the heart and spirit. The maids and servants diligently attended to their respective duties, meticulously organizing the night watch with an impeccable order that left no room for error. It seemed that only extraordinary measures could reveal any flaws in their arrangements. From my pocket, I retrieved the cow's tear I had collected while passing through Osmanthus village and applied it to my eyes. Instantly, the atmosphere of the world around me became a swirling chaos. The malevolent spirits were kept at bay by the barriers of the Xiao residence. Within the confines of the Xiao estate, the air was pure and fortune flowed freely. Yet, there existed a particular area where the aura was conspicuously feeble, akin to a black hole concealed within the light. I followed this faint energy and found myself at the elegant courtyard. At that moment, Xiao Shan and my sister had already retired for the night, while a young maid stood guard outside. A glance around revealed 2 young servants stationed by the study. Could there be something of great importance within the study? With a deft flick of my wrist, the young servants were overcome by drowsiness, yawning before collapsing against the wall into slumber. I gently pushed open the door to the study and stepped inside. After surveying the room, I found nothing amiss. The visible items were merely ledgers and records of business profits. Pondering for a moment, I recalled my previous outings with my senior brother, robbing the rich to aid the poor. I tapped here and knocked there, searching for hidden compartments or secret rooms. Upon reaching beneath the desk, I sensed an unusual hollowness beneath my feet. Lifting my feet and tapping on the ground revealed it to be empty. I cautiously pried open the bluestone tiles, uncovering a concealed compartment beneath. Inside lay a wooden box. As I extracted the box, I discovered it contained only a family tree. Was such a document truly worthy of such secrecy? Intrigued, I slowly opened it. The family tree recorded the origins of the Xiao clan from Yun Prefecture, revealing a lineage with Miao ancestry. The current head of the Xiao family, Xiao Shan, was married to Ning Ryu. My hand paused mid-turn and my brow furrowed. Ning Ryu? The legal wife? My eyes widened in disbelief. My sister was the legitimate wife of Xiao Shan, known as Bai Niao Niao. Who, then, was Ning Ryu? I continued to read. The eldest son was Xiao Yuming, and the eldest daughter was Xiao Yutian. Yuming? Tian Jie? What was the meaning of this? If the family tree were accurate, my sister had always been an outsider. Merely a stepping stone for the Xiao family to enact some sinister plot. How brazen of the Xiao family! Had I not been worried about my sister and come to visit her, she might have quietly vanished from this world. I took a deep breath, striving to suppress the raging fire and overwhelming anger within my chest. Now was not the time for confrontation. I needed to clarify the circumstances first. Ning Ryu and the two children might serve as the key. With this thought, I closed the family tree and tucked it away, quietly departing. The following day, my sister and I, under the pretense of wanting to bond with the two children and cultivate their maternal affection, retrieved them from the old Madame Xiao. However, the old madam sent the ever-watchful Granny Du to accompany us. My sister and I played with the children in the garden. She had prepared some snacks, watching tenderly as the two little ones chased butterflies. Yuming, Tianjia, come and drink some sweet water and have a snack, she called. The children rushed over, eagerly gulping down the sweet water. My sister gently wiped the sweat from their foreheads. Suddenly, she exclaimed, "Oh, Yuming, where's your jade pendant?" Her expression turned anxious. As she glanced at Granny Du, perhaps it was lost while running around. "Could you please take someone to look for it?" Granny Du promptly took two maids to search the garden. Once they departed, I turned to Yuming. "Yuming, when you visited your mother yesterday, was she well?" Yuming looked at me with his big, innocent eyes. "Yes." My sister, upon hearing this, was momentarily taken aback, her emotions a swirl of joy and concern, as she sought confirmation from Yuming. "Your mother is well?" Yuming nodded. The little girl looked up at my sister and chimed in, "Mother made us lotus cakes." My sister and I exchanged a glance, both taken aback by the revelation. It seemed the cousin was doing remarkably well. My sister had previously mentioned that the cousin was unwell and wished to avoid bringing misfortune to the Xiao residence, opting to stay in a separate courtyard. Whenever my sister wished to visit, Xiao Shan would always find an excuse to deter her. "Does my sister know her given name?" My sister nodded. "Her name is Ning Ryu." Ning Ryu? The very same person listed as Xiao Shan's legal wife in the family tree. I suppressed my shock, maintaining a calm facade. "Sister, since she is recovering, it would be a good idea to visit her." "Yes, it is about time. There's no time like the present. Let us go now." I stood up, enthusiastically pulling my sister along. She appeared somewhat flustered. "Well, if you insist." I smiled brightly as I took the hands of the two little ones. "Yuming, Tianjia, we are going to visit your mother." Hooray! The children were so excited that they nearly bounced off the ground. Thus, my sister and I, accompanied by the two little ones, cheerfully exited the Xiao estate. Just as we were about to board the carriage, Yuming blinked his big eyes and said in a childlike voice, "Wrong direction, it's that way. There's a tall city tower over there." Tianjia also pointed in the opposite direction of the carriage. "That way." Before we could react, Granny Du rushed out from the Xiao residence, urgently calling us. "Young madam, Miss Bai." My sister looked at the flustered Granny Du as she hurried towards us. "Granny Du, what is the matter? Where are you taking the two young masters?" "I heard them say that Miss Ning is well. I'm taking them to visit her." Upon hearing this, Granny Du's hand holding the handkerchief trembled slightly, her face betraying a hint of unease. "The old madam has summoned the young masters to review today's lessons. Would it be better for you to take them another day?" My sister frowned slightly, clearly displeased. Granny Du continued without allowing her a chance to refuse. "Madam, it would be impolite to visit in such a hurry, empty-handed. It would be better to prepare a gift for Miss Ning and visit another day." My sister pondered for a moment. That seems reasonable. Then I shall escort the young masters back to the old Madame's courtyard. Go ahead. My sister turned to me. Een, we will go another day. I remained silent, lost in thought. My sister disembarked from the carriage. Let us head back. My brow furrowed. Had my sister chosen to selectively forget the children's earlier reactions? Once, she had been the most perceptive. Now, she seemed so carefree. Hey, sister. What is it? Een? She turned back, noticing I was still standing there, and walked over to me. Did you not notice something odd about Yiming and Tianjie just now? What was odd? My sister appeared to have completely forgotten the children's earlier pointing. I reiterated the events, explaining how the carriage was headed towards the separate courtyard while the opposite direction led to the palace. Sister, do you wish to know where they were indicating? How do you know? I smiled mischievously, producing the strand of hair I had stealthily pulled from Yiming's head. This will lead us there. I clasped the hair, palms together, and whispered an incantation. The thread of kinship binds, the child shall return. An invisible thread of connection floated from my hands, following the direction Yiming had indicated. Sister, let us go. My sister looked bewildered. Huh? Where to? Realizing she couldn't see the threat, I applied a bit of cow's tear to her eyes, and she finally perceived it. We followed the ethereal thread as it led us onward. Continuing on, I found myself standing before the imposing gates of the imperial palace, a sense of weariness washing over me as I gazed at the majestic architecture before me. Were the parents of the two little ones truly within the palace walls? Let us return, I declared, realizing that I could not brazenly storm the palace with my sister in tow. With a heavy heart, I began my retreat. As I turned, I unexpectedly collided with someone. Third senior brother. Junior sister. We both exclaimed in unison. I passed by earlier and sensed a surge of spiritual energy, and that aura felt remarkably familiar, he explained. I thought I would come to investigate, and lo and behold, it truly is my junior sister. I stared in surprise at the figure before me, grinning foolishly. Clad in resplendent silk garments, he exuded an air of nobility that was beyond measure. Third senior brother, it has been years since we last met, and you have transformed into quite the gentleman. Een, do not be rude, my sister interjected hastily. This is Prince Rue. What? I gasped in shock. The third senior brother, who once joined me in raiding bird nests and wrestling with snakes, is now the son of the emperor. Hadn't he claimed that his father was gravely ill, and that he needed to return to tend to his few acres of rice fields? Who said anything about returning home to farm? I crossed my arms and shot him a sidelong glance. He rubbed his nose, appearing somewhat sheepish. Well, junior sister, we haven't seen each other in ages. Allow me to treat you to a meal. I smiled without warmth. No need, I have already eaten. With that, I turned my back haughtily. He had left in tears, and I had shaken my head at the time, scolding him for being foolishly filial. Why must he confront a scoundrel father and a stepmother? I had thought he lamented the cruelty of fate. Little did I know, he had a throne to inherit. I recalled the earnest advice our master had imparted to him upon his departure, about gathering grain and building walls to prepare for kingship, about how water can both carry a boat and capsize it, and about how one who wins the hearts of the people wins the world. I had been puzzled at the time, wondering why our master shared such profound wisdom with a mere farmer. What a waste of breath. I had approached our master with my doubts, and he had mentioned that third senior brother might return to become the village chief. I lamented how difficult that must be. Becoming a village chief required wisdom akin to that of an emperor. Huh. How infuriating. Was I truly the fool in this scenario? My sister, standing behind me, spoke apologetically to third senior brother. My younger sister is quite thoughtless. I hope His Highness can show her some understanding. Third senior brother smiled dismissively. No harm done. Humph. Dear junior sister, do not be upset. Your senior brother has his reasons. Please forgive him. I glanced at the strand of hair in my hand and then back at the distinguished gentleman before me. An idea flickered in my mind. Was this not a labor delivered to my doorstep? Forgiveness is not out of the question. Third senior brother's eyes sparkled with hope. I refrained from being indirect. Take me into the palace. At my words, his brow furrowed immediately. That, I fear, may pose a challenge. Een, do not put His Highness in a difficult position. Commoners cannot enter and exit the palace without summons, my sister interjected, stepping forward to explain. Third senior brother regarded me with gentle eyes. Junior sister. Could you consider asking for something within your senior brother's capacity? Very well. I nodded and extended my hand. Third senior brother looked puzzled. A strand of hair? What does this mean? I smiled to find his parents. After enjoying dinner, I returned to the guest quarters. Not long after, I received a message from my senior brother. The note landed in my hands, inscribed with "To my dear junior sister." I unfolded the paper. Junior sister, the biological parents of that strand of hair have been located. It belongs to a child of a steward close to the fifth prince. A steward's child? This unexpected revelation left me astonished. Did Xiaoshan know he was raising another family's steward's offspring? And what of Ningryu? I burned the letter, quickly donned my night clothes, and set off towards the Xiao family's villa in the outskirts of the capital. As I approached the city gates, I heard a commotion behind me. I moved stealthily, slipping into a dense thicket as I passed. Soon, I spotted a group of black-clad men wielding large knives, scouring for my presence. Before long, another group on horseback charged toward me. I squinted to see the leader. Could it be third senior brother? He led his men into a fierce clash with the black-clad assailants, each strike swift and decisive, blood splattering across the ground. In no time, all the black-clad figures were subdued. Come out, junior sister. I sheepishly approached third senior brother. Senior brother, what are you doing here? I was worried for your safety and thought to send a few shadow guards to protect you. However, they returned to report that you were not here. I nodded. Thank you, senior brother. But who are these people? Why were they following me? Third senior brother wiped the blood from his blade, then turned to me, his expression uncertain. When did he become so hesitant? If you have something to say, do not hesitate. He pondered for a moment. Junior sister, my father is gravely ill. I blinked. And then what? Third senior brother took a deep breath, looking seriously at me. He got straight to the point and asked, has the Bai family chosen a side? At this, I furrowed my brow, deep in thought. My sister had informed me of the general political landscape in the capital. Third senior brother was the second son of the late empress, titled Prince Rui. He had rushed back to the capital because the current crown prince, the eldest son of the late empress and third senior brother's own brother, had been murdered. The late empress had succumbed to depression and passed away. The current step-empress had given birth to the fifth prince. Third senior brother, the fifth prince, and the Prince Qi, born to the favored consort Da, were all prominent candidates for the throne. The emperor had languished in illness for an extended period, and the struggle for succession had intensified. Third senior brother, having lost both his mother and elder brother, was navigating a treacherous path. Were I a solitary figure, I would undoubtedly side with third senior brother, willing to brave fire and sword for him. However, the entire Bai family stood behind me. United we thrive, divided we perish. A slight misstep in the power struggle could lead to extermination of our clan. The Bai family had always maintained a position of neutrality, seeking merely to survive intact. Thus, I could not afford to gamble nor make promises. The potential consequences were beyond my capacity to bear. A wave of sorrow washed over me. I am sorry, senior brother. The Bai family cannot take a side. A flicker of disappointment crossed third senior brother's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure, a look of concern replacing it. Junior sister, I fear the Bai family cannot remain unscathed. You have already been drawn into this conflict. Today's assassination attempt serves as the best evidence. I was puzzled. What do you mean, senior brother? At that moment, one of the guards beside third senior brother approached, presenting a seal. Master, it is from the Qingyun Gang. The Qingyun Gang is the largest assassin organization in the Great Zhou. Third senior brother turned to me. The backers of the Qingyun Gang are the maternal family of the Empress. I pressed my lips together, deep in thought. The Empress's maternal family, supporters of the fifth prince. Were they attempting to kill me? So blatant about it? Junior sister, you are always astute. You must be able to discern the reasons behind this. Setting aside who might wish me dead, I considered who would benefit from my demise. The Bai family consists solely of my sister and me. Without me, the Bai family would be left with only my sister. Reflecting on my sister's current disposition, so compliant with Xiaoshan, I suddenly grasped the crux of the matter. I turned sharply to third senior brother. Has the Xiao family aligned with the fifth prince? Third senior brother nodded solemnly. Indeed. Was it because I had mentioned seeking a husband that I had severed the Xiao family's intentions towards the Bai family? Then, shall I simply be killed? To control the Bai family through my sister? However, my sister mentioned that last month the Xiao family donated 100,000 taels of silver to the Ministry of Revenue for disaster relief. Presently, the deputy minister is aligned with the Qi Wang and the favored concubine Da. A chill ran down my spine. The Xiao family, silently maneuvering behind the scenes, is orchestrating such a grand scheme. How infuriating that my sister remains ensnared in this den of wolves. I must extricate her from this vortex. My third senior brother pulled me back from my thoughts. Shall we first visit the Xiao family's villa? I nodded slightly, sharing the same intention to see if Ning Ryu could provide further clues. At the Xiao family's villa, there were no maids or servants keeping watch. The surroundings were eerily silent, save for a dim light emanating from one of the chambers. Upon pushing the door open, a wave of ominous energy washed over me. The room was devoid of anything but a coffin, beside which stood a flickering oil lamp. My third senior brother and I exchanged a glance and made our way directly to the coffin. It was a millennium-old cold jade coffin, known for its preservation of corpses. As I opened the coffin, I beheld a woman lying peacefully within. I murmured, "Could this be Ning Ryu?" My senior brother confirmed, "Indeed it is." At that moment, I was engulfed by a chilling realization. The deceased Ning Ryu was listed in the Xiao family genealogy, while my sister, a living person, had no rightful name or status, a gross injustice. What exactly is the Xiao family scheming? I scrutinized Ning Ryu closely. She bore no resemblance to those two children. Clearly, they were not her offspring. As I contemplated her features for divination, I suddenly raised my gaze. My senior brother had also sensed something amiss. We exchanged a startled glance and simultaneously spoke. She is not dead. She has no soul. The oil lamp served as a guardian. Her spirit departed, leaving behind a web of intrigue. Where had her soul gone? My senior brother abruptly realized something. They have someone formidable backing them. We should not linger here. We must withdraw. Agreed. Not long after we left, an old Taoist with a white beard appeared in the room. He frowned as he surveyed the area, ensuring everything was in order before departing with a sigh of relief. My senior brother and I walked along the path back to the capital. Senior brother, do you think a person can undergo a sudden and drastic change? Are you referring to your sister? My eyes widened in surprise, and I couldn't help but exclaim, "You truly understand me, senior brother." Upon returning to the capital, I specifically dispatched someone to gather information about you and learned that your sister married into the Xiao family. I was present at their wedding. However, I hastily pressed him, what? He revealed that he had noticed differences in my sister from 3 years ago to now. I quickly informed him of her recent changes, occasional amnesia, and her submissive demeanor towards the Xiao family. My sister once possessed strong opinions and thoughts, but now seemed like a different person entirely. My senior brother appeared to have an epiphany and looked at me with urgency. Sister, have you ever heard of the technique of soul devouring? The technique of soul devouring. I had encountered it in an ancient text. This method primarily serves to exchange lives, transferring the soul of a person with a weak fate into the body of one blessed with fortune. It quietly usurps one's essence and seizes their fortune. Such sorcery is exceedingly sinister, regarded as a plague by reputable sects, thus remaining obscure. Could someone be secretly practicing this dark art? I lowered my gaze, deep in thought. Could it be? My sister's abnormal behavior, Ning Ryu's missing soul, and the attempts on my life suddenly coalesced into a damning realization. They seek to control my sister to dominate and plunder the wealth of the Bai family. And this sister is merely a replacement for Ning Ryu. Exactly. My senior brother then presented me with a jade bottle. A soul-binding bottle? My pupils contracted as I accepted it, giving him a thumbs up. A prince indeed possesses many treasures. Suddenly, my fingers twitched. Something is amiss. I must return immediately. Very well. I hurried back to the Xiao family's guest house. Xiao Shan burst in, flanked by his men. The paper kite mimicked my refusal to let him enter. Sister-in-law, I have already gone to bed. Enin. There was an assassin at the residence today. The intruder may have entered your room. Let me check to ensure your safety. But I am already in bed. Outside. Xiao Shan, seeing me refuse to open the door, signaled to a servant. Immediately, several burly men stepped forward, preparing to force the door open. In that moment, I swiftly opened the door and retreated, causing the men to tumble into a heap at the threshold. I smiled coldly at Xiao Shan. Was this an attempt to capture me after failing to assassinate me? Brother-in-law, what is the meaning of this? Xiao Shan's grim demeanor softened as he explained with a warm smile, "In, I am merely concerned for your safety. Then let me see if there are any intruders." "Very well." Xiao Shan feigned a thorough search of my room. "Young master, there is nothing." "Young master, nothing here." The servants hurried to inform Xiao Shan. He turned to me, looking somewhat apologetic. I apologize for the intrusion. Brother-in-law, please be thorough in your search. Do not overlook any corner." "There is nothing." "Nothing at all. I shall take my leave now." With that, Xiao Shan departed with a throng of men. Once the courtyard door closed, my senior brother emerged from the shadows. "Sister, you are in great danger. You are now a thorn in their side." Watching Xiao Shan leave, I spoke coldly, "Humph. Let them come. I shall meet force with force." I strode directly to my bed. Lifting my pillow revealed a doll lying beneath. A trivial trick. "Do not move." My senior brother halted my attempt to grasp the doll. I was perplexed as he released the paper kite. The moment the kite made contact with the doll, a black worm surged out from the doll, swiftly crawling towards the kite. I gasped in horror. "A death curse." My senior brother nodded. "This Xiao residence is unsafe. You must come with me, sister." I shook my head. "No, nowhere is safe. A failed attempt leads to another. They are determined to take my life. My family stands neutral and cannot escape this whirlpool. It is better to stir this murky water even further. Senior brother, I am willing to assist you." Upon hearing my words, my senior brother's eyes brightened. He clasped his hands in gratitude. "In that case, thank you, sister. I shall write a letter to my father. Additionally, I ask you for a favor." I extended my hand, revealing a strand of hair resting in my palm. I had discreetly acquired it while Xiao Shan was distracted. "Xiao Shan has 2 children. Please help me locate them." The kinship line indicated their location was within the palace. After the assassination attempt that night, Xiao Shan's audacity grew bolder. In recent days, I have navigated countless open and covert threats. He keeps a tight rein on my sister, granting me no opportunity for a private encounter. On this day, I enlisted my senior brother to distract Xiao Shan. Seizing the moment he was absent, I hurried to the elegant garden. I invited my sister to stroll through the jewelry and clothing shops. In the clothing store, my sister held up a beautifully embroidered satin dress before me. "Look at you, a grown woman, always dressed like a wild child. You would look splendid in these lovely garments." Gazing at the pastel shades and intricate designs, my head began to throb. Hastily, I grasped my sister's arm. "Sister, please spare me. If I wear this back, I will be the subject of ridicule among my peers." My sister chided me. "Not at all. Sister, I am quite famished. Before coming to Kyoto, I heard that the 8-treasure duck from Jiuxiang Pavilion is exceptionally delicious. Please take me to savor it." My stomach audibly protested with hunger. My sister, though reluctant, conceded, "Very well, let us first have something to eat." Upon entering a private room, I exclaimed, "Sister, I am so hungry. It would be delightful if there were some pastries to tide me over." My sister immediately instructed a nearby maid to procure some pastries from Lee's confectionery. "Sister, I have heard that the pastries from Junwei Restaurant are unparalleled in Kyoto. I wish to try them." "All right," she replied, turning to Xiao Dao. "Go fetch some of the signature pastries from Junwei Restaurant." "Yes, madam." The distance to Junwei Restaurant was considerable, and it would take some time for the maid to return. As I watched her exit and close the door, I swiftly waved my hand, casting a barrier around the entire room. My sister, puzzled, inquired, "What are you doing?" "Sister, I have something important to confirm with you. Is it true that the cousin from Xiao Shan is named Ning Ryu? Anning for then and Ryu for the Ru, signifying a graceful and talented being?" "Yes." "Is Mingji's full name Xiao Yaming and Tangjier's full name Xiao Yutian?" "Yes." "Why do you ask?" My sister regarded me with suspicion. I retrieved the Xiao family genealogy from my bosom and handed it to her. My sister, bewildered, opened it. Upon seeing the section regarding Xiao Shan's wife and children, her pupils constricted. Her hands trembled as she stared at me in disbelief. "Where did this come from?" I truthfully informed her, and she appeared as if plunged into an icy abyss, struggling to breathe, her heart racing violently. After a moment, she clutched her head, her expression one of profound anguish. I took her hand, probing her spirit. Within her, the energies were chaotic and tumultuous. Before the devouring technique was fully realized, the two souls would intermittently vie for control over the body. The consciousness of the soul destined to be consumed would gradually be influenced by the intruder. During this time, if the invaded soul's consciousness was weak or faced with unwelcome truths, the invading soul could temporarily seize control of the body. This situation would persist until the invader completely consumed the invaded soul, thereby entirely supplanting the invaded consciousness. Sister, Xiao Shan does not love you. Everything he does is for Ning Ryu. He has a pair of children with her. He will not have children with you, not because you cannot bear them, but because the Xiao family forbids it. I deliberately said this to provoke my sister, knowing that when she was unwilling to confront the truth, her spirit would weaken, allowing the intruder to manifest. I watched as my sister's face contorted in pain, my heart tightening. Sister, please endure just a little longer. A quarter of an hour later, her gaze shifted from confusion to clarity, as if she had transformed into another person. She gradually calmed down. I gestured toward the genealogy on the table. Curiously, she began to examine it closely. Seeing something that startled her, she looked at me with a mixture of shock and wariness. What are you planning? I smirked, a cold laugh escaping my lips. You should be asking what you intend to do. Ning Ryu. At that moment, the soul of Ning Ryu occupying my sister's body recoiled in terror, stepping back repeatedly. I rose and slowly approached her. You despicable usurper. As I spoke, I summoned a talisman to immobilize my sister's body. I formed a seal and chanted, I summon the mountain god, the 5 road generals, to uncover the true soul, reclaim the possession, and open the spiritual gate for the celestial youth to escort the soul back to the Supreme Lord. I command swiftly. The power of the talisman and incantation surged forth. The 2 souls within my sister flickered in and out of visibility. At that moment, my sister's spirit lay dormant, while Ning Ryu attempted to expel her. However, as the power of the talisman and incantation intensified, Ning Ryu's soul uncontrollably surged outward. I scoffed, mocking her for her audacity to attempt to oust my sister's spirit under my very nose. As the moment approached, I commanded, reel it in. I produced a spirit-binding bottle and captured Ning Ryu's soul within it. Simultaneously, my sister slumped to the ground. I rushed to catch her, placing a calming talisman upon her. After a moment, my sister stirred awake. What has happened to me? I helped her sit up, a sense of relief washing over me. This was indeed my sister. I was grateful that their scheme had not yet succeeded. With 2 souls intertwined, Ning Ryu's spirit would gradually consume my sister's consciousness. When my sister's awareness was strong, she would manifest. Conversely, when weak, Ning Ryu would take over. Thus, my sister intermittently oscillated between clarity and confusion. Uninitiated in the mysteries of the spiritual realm, my sister could only attribute her plight to her frail health and muddled memories. Should they succeed in seizing my sister's body, her spirit might either wander aimlessly in the world or fall into a deep slumber within, or be entirely devoured by Ning Ryu's soul. If the body were overtaken, in due course, her appearance would align with that of the invading spirit. At that point, my sister would silently vanish from this world, with Ning Ryu completely supplanting her. Thankfully, I had arrived just in time. A wave of fear washed over me. After a while, my sister regained her composure and, as if recalling something, suddenly turned to me with urgency. Is that genealogy genuine? I nodded. Indeed. I grasped her hands, weighing my words carefully. Sister, if it is confirmed that Xiao Shan is not the virtuous man he seems, what will you choose? Determination and resolve flickered in her eyes. Then I shall seek vengeance for the wrongs done to me. With that, I felt reassured. My sister remained the beloved figure I had always cherished. Sister, perhaps Ning Ryu can provide us with answers to our confusions. Ning Ryu? Yes. I explained to her the recent odd behaviors she had exhibited. Her eyes blazed with indignation. This is outrageous. Do not fear, sister. I will ensure they pay for their transgressions. I release Ning Ryu from the jade bottle. I offer you a chance for redemption. Tell us everything you know. Ning Ryu shivered, silently resisting. I smiled nonchalantly. Perhaps Xiao Yuming and Xiao Yutian know more? At my words, Ning Ryu's soul glared at me with venomous hatred. I paid her no mind. Speak. Otherwise, your children. Under duress, Ning Ryu began to divulge. Observing her reactions, it became evident that she was unaware her children had been swapped. Upon hearing her account, I realized that Xiao Shan and the entire Xiao family were consummate deceivers. Ning Ruyu was indeed Xiao Shan's wife, already inscribed in the family genealogy, with a pair of children. However, due to Xiao Shan's fate of harming his kin, he bore a solitary and desolate destiny. The matters of marriage and offspring remained unspoken. After Ning Ruyu entered the household, she languished in illness, and the fate of her children was likewise tragic. Each incident corroborated his cursed fate of weak familial ties. Thus, he required someone to shield him from calamity and provide fortune. Consequently, he sought a master to predict a once-in-a-century auspicious fate, which turned out to be my sister. By Nionio. Yet, his own arduous destiny was a divine punishment, impossible to alter by force. Only if the other party willingly contributed could Xiao Shan hope to change his fate. Hence, they devised the insidious plan of devouring. Xiao Shan treated my sister with utmost care, leaving no room for error. However, this was merely through my sister's body towards Ning Ruyu, not towards my sister herself. Yet, there remained one matter unclear. The theft of my sister's fate was plausible. Why then, must two unrelated individuals be inscribed in the family tree? Ning Ruyu was only aware that the Xiao family needed to alter their fate. Yet the reality is far more intricate. Ming Ge and Tian Jie may not even be the true Xiao Yuming and Xiao Yutian. Where are the children of Xiao Shan? On the surface, the Xiao family appears to support the seventh prince, but in truth, they have placed their bets on the fifth prince. It is likely that Ning Ruyu remains oblivious to these matters. My sister and I have lost all desire to continue shopping and decided to return to the Xiao residence. From a distance, we spotted Xiao Shan waiting eagerly at the entrance. Upon seeing my sister behind me, his anxious expression softened somewhat. How this scoundrel clings to my sister. Now! Examining Xiao Shan's countenance reveals a harsh and unfortunate fate, one that invites calamity upon his kin, and he is destined for a short life. To avoid alarming the snake, we had previously conferred, and my sister must maintain her guise. Her spirit may fluctuate during this period, so there is no need for her to feign weakness or memory disorder. Following my instructions, my sister began to confront Xiao Shan after our return to the Xiao family. In the elegant courtyard, she pitifully reached out to touch his hand. Husband, while out today, I heard a rumor. Xiao Shan's heart tightened, though he feigned calmness. Oh, do share. My sister dabbed at her non-existent tears with a silk handkerchief. It is rumored that you have a pair of children. At this, Xiao Shan's expression abruptly stiffened. He paused for a moment before responding. Are they referring to Ming Ge and Tian Jie? My sister nodded. Indeed, they are Ming Ge and Tian Jie. The rumor claims they are the children of your concubine. Upon hearing this about Ming Ge and Tian Jie, Xiao Shan regained his composure. He grasped my sister's hand tightly. Niao, do not heed those baseless rumors. My sister pouted in disagreement. How can it be baseless? They speak with such conviction. They even say Ming Ge looks just like you. Xiao Shan playfully tapped her nose. You overthink things. Hear us what we can do. I will acknowledge them through a blood oath. In a few days, we will hold an ancestral worship ceremony. If they are my children, you may punish me as you wish. If they are not, I shall have them inscribed in the family tree under your name. My sister lowered her gaze, her lips curving into a subtle smile, and softly acquiesced. That would suffice. While awaiting the ancestral worship ceremony of the Xiao family, my third senior brother engaged in the final struggle for the throne within the imperial palace. Meanwhile, I was busy dismantling the sinister formations within the Xiao family. Stripped of their luxe disguise, all the Xiao family's secrets came to light: the innocent souls in the lotus pond, the scattered bones beneath the cherry blossom tree, and the formation crafted from severed heads. They truly went to great lengths. The Xiao family's fortune and fate were all illicitly acquired. The victims included not only my sister, but also thousands of innocent souls. That Ning Ruyu was merely a pawn sacrificed in the game of power, the only difference being that Xiao Shan genuinely loved her. It is a pity that my sister is left with nothing but sorrow. On the day of the ancestral worship, the clan elder of the Xiao family arrived at the scene. To dispel the rumors, Xiao Shan even invited common folk to witness the ceremony. At the altar, Xiao Shan articulated the purpose of today's sacrifice, holding my sister's hand throughout, striving to embody the perfect husband. He led her in the rites. allowing the rare fate to actively worship his ancestors, sacrificing my sister's fortune to ensure the Xiao family's enduring prosperity. What a clever scheme. However, the Xiao family ultimately cannot withstand the merits bestowed by the Bai family. As the ceremony progressed, Xiao Shan addressed the crowd with cupped hands. Recently, rumors have proliferated in the capital. Today, I, Xiao, shall prove before all that I have no blood relation to Minggur and Tianjie. They are my cousin's children. I ask you all to witness the results of this blood oath. I will adopt them under my name. A maid, under his direction, brought Minggur and Tianjie forward. The two children were pricked to draw blood into two bowls. Tianjie burst into tears. At that moment, Ningruyu, trapped in the spirit-binding bottle, began to struggle. I silently threatened her. Behave. The main act is yet to come. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Xiao Shan cut his palm and dripped blood into both bowls. The blood spread in the water, but did not merge. I smiled faintly. Ningruyu writhed violently in the binding bottle. I smirked, my fingers gliding. In an instant, Ningruyu's spirit emerged to grasp Xiao Shan's neck. Yet, her spirit could not touch the physical form. Ultimately, it was in vain. She slumped to the ground, exhausted. I stepped forward to deliver the final blow. Foolish woman. You didn't even realize your children were swapped. You are merely a pawn, sewing garments for others. Ningruyu covered her face, wailing in anguish, her cries echoing. Though the crowd could not see her, they felt an inexplicable chill in the air. You feel great hatred, do you not? I can assist you. Ningruyu remained unresponsive, like a soulless husk. I can help you find your children. At this, her eyes lifted in an instant. Really? Of course, it is true. Indeed, children are a woman's Achilles heel. Alas, they are all pitiable souls. On the stage, Xiao Shan proposed to adopt Minggur and Tianjie. My sister and I exchanged glances and nodded, then took Ningruyu to a separate courtyard. Before the jade coffin, Ningruyu beheld her own body, her spirit trembling. I nodded at her, casting a spell to return her spirit to her body. As her spirit merged with her physical form, I vanished from the scene. Moments later, an unusual wind swept through outside. The white-bearded old Taoist floated toward the jade coffin like a specter, lowering his head to inspect Ningruyu's body. At that instant, I launched a sudden attack, and Ningruyu hurled the talisman I had given her at the old man. Caught off guard, the old Taoist was struck down and bound. Just then, my third senior brother entered calmly from outside. National Master, why are you not at the star-picking tower today? But here instead? The old man clutched his bleeding wound, his expression furious. Rui Wang, I have no grievances with you in the past or present. Why do you conspire against me? My senior brother's face darkened instantly, the pressure around him dropping. No grievances? Shouldn't the enmity between my mother and the crown prince count against you? The old Taoist's mind raced. It has nothing to do with me. You shall not evade accountability. With that, my senior brother lunged at the old Taoist on the ground. The old man raised his hand to resist, but he could not withstand the wrath of my senior brother. I also stepped forward to assist, and the old Taoist was soon subdued. My senior brother's entourage streamed in, and the old man was apprehended and escorted to the capital. Ningruyu and I followed along. Upon reaching the Xiao residence, they led us down. I leaped from the carriage and waved to my senior brother. He smiled at me, sincerely expressing his gratitude. Junior sister, thank you. I have finally avenged my mother and the crown prince. Such things seem rather formal. Given our bond, I would not hesitate to brave fire and water for my senior brother. The frown on my senior brother's brow seemed to lift in an instant. His eyes sparkled as he looked at me. Junior sister, do not jest with me. I vowed earnestly I would never deceive you. I lifted my gaze toward the grand doors of the Xiao residence. The blessings of the Xiao family were gradually dissipating. After today, the skies over the Xiao residence are destined to change. Let us enter. My sister and I slowly walked into the Xiao residence. Sister A is aware of our return. She emerges to greet us and we exchange glances. Enin, how did it go? I offer Sister A reassuring look. Everything went smoothly. The one behind it all is the National Master. Sister A nods in acknowledgement. We had previously deliberated this point, so capturing the National Master does not come as a surprise to us. Where's Xiao Shan now? Still in the ancestral hall. Let us confront him. The time has come. Sister A and Ning Ryu exchange nods of agreement and take my hand, leading me towards the ancestral hall. Inside, Xiaoshan is engaged in jovial conversation with the clan elders when suddenly, a voice pierces through the air, hurling insults directly at him. Xiaoshan, you hypocritical beast. Xiaoshan's brow furrows in displeasure. Who dares? But upon recognizing the speaker, his voice falters. Moments later, he trembles as he points a shaking finger at Ning Ryu. You. Who are you? Ning Ryu sneers. Cousin, have you truly forgotten me? Xiaoshan is taken aback. Ryu? Ning Ryu scoffs. Xiaoshan's face pales in shock. Yet a flicker of joy dances in his eyes. Is it really you, Ryu? You? He scrutinizes her from head to toe. What? Are you curious about how I survived? Ning Ryu approaches Xiaoshan menacingly. He recoils in terror, backing away repeatedly. Then, regaining his composure, he shoots a venomous glare at Sister A. It's you. You vile woman. I notice Sister A's hands trembling slightly in front of her. My heart aches for her. Over the years, Xiaoshan has played his role too well. If not for the undeniable truth before us, no one could accept this reality. Xiaoshan, in a frenzy, lunges at Sister A, tears well in her eyes as she stares blankly at the man charging towards her. I prepare to intervene, but Ning Ryu is quicker, delivering a sharp slap to Xiaoshan. What grievance do you have against Miss Bai? She was living peacefully at home when disaster struck, and you snatched her fate away. What right do you have to blame her? Xiaoshan is momentarily stunned by the blow, covering his face in disbelief. Ryu? I did all this for you. Ning Ryu laughs coldly. Xiaoshan, do not claim this is for me. You act solely for yourself and the Xia family. Do not cast your blame upon me. Xiaoshan shakes his head incredulously. No. Ryu, trust me. Trust you? Why did you take my child? Where is my child? Ning Ryu's voice crescendos in desperation as she interrogates Xiaoshan. He stumbles over his words in a futile attempt to explain. Our child is safe. They're being well cared for in the 5th prince's residence. Safe? Missing arms and legs is considered safe? Impossible. How could they be maimed? The 5th prince promised to take good care of them. Fool. Return my children to me. Ning Ryu advances, grabbing Xiaoshan by the throat. Return my Ming'er and Tian'er. At that moment, a servant rushes in, breathless. Young master, 2 children have been brought outside. They claim to be the young master and young Mississippi. As the words leave his lips, soldiers clad in armor enter the courtyard, escorting 2 maimed and tormented children inside. Their faces bear a striking resemblance to Xiaoshan's. Ning Ryu rushes forward, embracing the 2 children, weeping uncontrollably. My poor children. Wutu. Xiaoshan stands frozen in shock. The 5th prince, how dare he? How dare he? I interject mockingly. Did you truly believe the 5th prince would send his own children to the Xia residence as a gesture of goodwill? How absurd. The cunning Xiaoshan had naively thought the 5th prince would place his precious children in his hands as a sign of sincerity, even harboring the delusion of using them to manipulate the 5th prince. Truly, it is laughably foolish. They are merely the children of servants. Xiaoshan's sanity begins to unravel. He wagered everything on the Xia family, believing he had the 5th prince under his thumb, only to face utter failure. I will kill you. Xiaoshan charges at me. But someone intervenes swiftly. Ning Ryu lunges at Xiaoshan, fiercely striking him with fists and kicks. Return my children. Return my children. Xiaoshan stands silent, enduring Ning Ryu's assault without protest. Sister A observes from the side, witnessing her once-beloved husband entangled in a violent struggle with another woman, likely feeling her heart torn asunder. I tug at Sister A's sleeve. She offers me a reassuring glance before addressing the onlookers. Today, I ask you all to bear witness. I, by Niao, will depart on my own accord, severing all ties with the Xia family henceforth. Voices of doubt ripple through the crowd, their gazes cast upon Sister A with disapproval. These fools. Sister A has wronged no one. It is the Xia family that has betrayed her. She shall leave the Xia family with dignity. I cast aside the Xia family genealogy, speaking coldly. Examine for yourselves the deeds of the Xia family. Without further ado, I shall take my sister away, severing all ties with the Xia family. With that, I turn to Sister A. Sister, let us go. She bites her lip, glancing at the tumultuous scene between Xiaoshan and Ning Ryu before slowly nodding. Let us go. In an instant, the situation shifts. Xiaoshan, pinned to the ground by Ning Ryu, catches sight of our intent to leave and suddenly springs up, charging at me. Vile woman. By Fanine, how dare you scheme against me? I react swiftly, delivering a kick that sends him doubling over in pain, blood trickling from his mouth. As he turns, he realizes in his haste he has collided with Ning Ruyu. He scrambles to her side. I'm sorry, Ryu. Ning Ruyu glares at him with resentment, grabbing his throat. He remains indifferent, allowing her to vent her fury. What Ning Ryu does not know is that to preserve her body from decay, Xiaoshan has spent a fortune, 100,000 taels of silver, for the use of a cold jade coffin for a year. Alternatively, he could have been more ruthless, eliminating both Ning Ruyu and the children to marry sister illegitimately. Yet, he chose to take a gamble, possessing genuine feelings for Ning Ruyu. But for Sister A, this is a form of torment. I see the sorrow etched on Sister A's face. Sister, should we make him disappear? The scoundrel has caused Sister A pain. I possess 100 methods to ensure his vanishing. Sister A shakes her head. No need. Death would be a release. The true punishment lies in witnessing the grand walls he built come crashing down, devoid of hope. I take Sister A away, ensuring that every trace of her presence is removed from the Xia residence, leaving them no opportunity to siphon fortune. With our departure, the Xia residence's paradise dims gradually, and their fortune begins to fade. The Xia family is left with nothing but the remnants of their past sins, their members imprisoned. The fifth prince loses his economic support, and the Qi King is deprived of the national master. My third senior brother emerges victorious in the struggle for succession. The affairs in the capital come to a close. After my third senior brother ascends the throne, Sister A and I prepare to take our leave. As we depart, I hand over the pouch entrusted to me by my master for my brother, then board the carriage back to Jiangnan. As we reach the city gates, a ragged man with unkempt hair blocks our path. Niao Niao, I was wrong, please forgive me. I furrowed my brow as I gazed at the enigmatic figure of Xiaoshan. How could my senior brother have released him? The elder sister lifted the curtain, and a glimmer of hope flickered in Xiaoshan's eyes. The elder sister scrutinized him with disdain, disdainfully uttering 2 words, ill-omened. She then let the curtain drop. Meanwhile, soldiers shouted, "We've captured the fugitive." Before long, Xiaoshan was apprehended. Without a backward glance, we exited the city gates. Along the way, I retrieved a silk handkerchief and pointed to a pair of lotus flowers. Sister, please continue your embroidery. This peony is quite beautiful. What? I widened my eyes in shock. The elder sister covered her mouth, stifling a laugh. Seeing her mischievous demeanor, I instantly felt relieved. You startled me, sister. After leaving the Xiao family, the previously composed and reserved elder sister exhibited a touch of playfulness, living more freely. Observing the aura of fortune radiating from her, I felt a surge of happiness and couldn't help but reach out to embrace her. She raised a hand to stop me. You're quite heavy. I widened my eyes, feeling a sense of grievance. Sister, you no longer love me. The elder sister smiled gently, taking my hand and placing it on her belly. What do you mean? A radiant smile blossomed on her face. I am expecting twins. At that moment, I was utterly astonished, taking a closer look. Indeed, my joy erupted. Are they girls? The elder sister shook her head. I don't know. However, according to our Bai family's tradition of cherishing daughters, it is likely to be girls. I envisioned 2 little girls in my mind. Girls are wonderful, just like the bond between you and me, intertwined like twin branches. The elder sister affectionately patted my head. Indeed, like twin branches. The air was filled with laughter as we journeyed onward, the distant capital fading away. My senior brother held a letter from our master. To Dongfang Rue, personally opened. His eyes were red-rimmed. Ruer, my disciple, you possess the ability to bring peace through words and to stabilize the world through valor. Never underestimate yourself. To serve the sovereign, maintain a compassionate heart while executing decisive measures, embodying the art of kingship. Strive diligently and act with integrity to achieve far-reaching goals. A tranquil sea and clear rivers are within reach. In the days that followed, whenever my senior brother encountered difficulties, he would draw upon the Master's teachings for encouragement. He adhered closely to his mentor's guidance, step by step, grounded and resolute, ultimately becoming a wise ruler, ushering in an era of peace and prosperity, with nations coming to pay tribute. The end of the tale. Thank you for listening, and we shall meet again in the next story.